I love this lighthearted question from Elise. She wants to know a little behind-the-scenes funny story about your kids.
Oh, well, it's hard to do that because there's so many funny stories about my children. Well, here's one from like an hour ago. So my son just came charging in the room. I was studying Talmud with somebody, and my son comes charging into the room with a jelly bean in each hand. And he says to me, "Daddy, which jelly bean you want?" And I said, "I'll take that one." And he smiled. Then he put both of them in his mouth because that is what children do. Children are just little monsters. They're little evil monsters who are terrible people. Yeah, last night, my son, we went to dinner. Okay, so rule number one, never take your 2-year-old son to dinner, ever, right? Huge mistake. But my son he's in the mode right now where whatever he does is the most troubling thing. Like the most troublesome thing he can do, he will do. So we go to the restaurant. The first thing that he does is he takes a glass of water and pours it out on the table. And then he takes salt and shakes it out all over the water. And then he takes a knife and starts beating it against the puddle of water on the table. And finally, I clean all of this up and he says, "I want orange juice." So I get him some orange juice. He then proceeds to take the orange juice and pour it all over the table. Then we get in the car, there's a little bit left of the orange juice. And like a fool, I give it to him because he's crying and whining because he won't stop crying and whining. And I give it to him and I say, "Don't spill it." By the time we get home, it's one block. He's poured it on himself. So I get him out of the car and I say, "You know what? It's time to go take a shower." No, we have to take a shower because you're covered in orange. No. Well, tough. I'm big. You're small. No. So anyway, I wrangle him finally into the bathroom, and then he proceeds to start digging immediately through all the drawers in the bathroom and dumping things on the floor. This is my life, pretty much, for 4 hours a day with my son. My daughter is really smart and also very sassy. Like she's very cunning, and she does not take crap from anyone.
I wonder where she gets that.
Yeah, my daughter's a lot more like me. My son's more like my wife. My son is just sweet by nature and really nice and a little bit mischievous. And as for my daughter is like, you cross her, you die. I mean, my daughter, in the zombie apocalypse.
She gives a really good evil glare, too.
Oh, yeah.
And she's given that since she was like 2 weeks old.
This is exactly. If the zombie apocalypse happened, I have no fears for my daughter whatsoever. Like, my son's a wild man. Like, if there were a zombie apocalypse, my son would do the same thing he does every day. He'd just find a light socket and stick his finger in it. But my daughter would immediately grab a hammer and start going to work on the zombies outside. So, but it is true that it's funny. I walk around the city a lot with my kids, and when people see me with my kids, they're like, "Oh, you're a happy person." Like, right, because I'm with my kids. That's the actual rule.